Yeah, I would consider it a good solid year, a good consistent year that I had some good finishes. It wasn't, anything like I had in 2004, but overall, I mean, it was a solid effort. It's just another sort of like workman-like year for me where I've been, since 2004, I would say, very consistent in my results each year. 2004 was obviously an incredible year. But since then, I think more than any other player, really, I've shown that I've been able to sort of put up good, a good solid, not like $1 million worth of cash virtually every year. Yeah, well, I mean, I started the final table as short stack, so I played a really excellent final table to get down to heads up, and then I did it with a little bit of a chip lead, and I had Barry all in. I had aces, he had ace five, plus trying to hit the flush, and then we grinded and again later when the blinds got high. I flopped up here with jacks, and he had pocket aces, and I turned 3 jacks after we were all in. So I was lucky to hit it, and then it looked like, okay, it's over now. Mm-hmm. He can only catch an ace, and he caught the ace on the river. And so it was very frustrating because I felt like I was playing well. I felt like I was pretty unlucky in the heads up overall. And, it felt like it just slipped away on me. And I talked to the producers later, and they said, with the way the cards are distributed, they said God couldn't have beat him. But it's actually, first and foremost, a lot of fun. I feel like I learn a lot from playing, actually in this new season that hasn't even aired yet. I played a lot with Durr, Phil Ivey, and Patrick Antonius, and really had a chance to kind of zone in on what Durr is doing and how he does it, and sort of the method of his madness. And I feel like near the end I start to really kind of pick up on it, and it improved my game as well. I think there's a misconception a little bit on the type of aggression that they have. They're not quite as aggressive as people think. They're just good. Well, yeah, there's no question that the game, there are more good players and they're playing a more sophisticated brand of poker. The reason I think I can continue to win and be consistent is because I'm aware of it and I don't sit on my laurels and say, okay, like I take a very different approach than someone like Phil Hellmuth, for example, who thinks that, he's the greatest in the world and that's just always going to be the case and, everyone else sucks ass. I'm very aware of these young guys have, they've done their homework. They really understand like effective ways to play. So I watch and I learn and I try to adapt and try to figure out, most importantly, how they perceive me and use that against them so I can manipulate the situation. And I feel like I do a really good, pretty good job of that. And that's why I can continue to, have big scores and stuff. You know what I find more than ever? I find that the reason people are getting better is because they're playing more like I play. I mean, frankly, I think more and more of these kids are playing small ball. They're playing a variation of it. Maybe some have little tweaks and they do things differently, but the bottom, more and more people realize that in tournament poker, the best approach, without question, is small ball. There isn't a consistent player in the world. There is not one consistent tournament player in the world that isn't employing a small ball to, a pretty, severe, like Phil Ivey, 100% small ball. I mean,
sure.
Most of these guys who are consistently doing well are all small ball players. You can't succeed. Like, to be honest with you, most of the online players that play tournaments, they suck, absolutely suck in deep stack tournaments. They're terrible. They're like the biggest fish ever. Having said that, the cash game players from online, the ones who play online cash, that make the transition to the big tournaments, they do quite well, and they have a better understanding of it. But a kid like Sean Deeb, who he's a prolific online player and does really well. I've talked to him about tournaments, and he has no idea what the hell he's talking about. He's just, I love the kid, but God, he does some things that are just so stupid when you're deep stacked. It's incredible. It boggles my mind. And I try to have discussions with him about it, and he just, it's a brain fart, I guess. I don't know. I felt like I've dedicated 2010 to playing the best I can, and I thought I came 10 out of the money in the main event, but I thought I played an excellent tournament, and I really was focused and tried well. And then I also played the high roller, and didn't have a ton of luck. Got very unlucky on day 2 also, but very, very happy with my. I feel like my goal in 2010 is to play play hard in every single event, and I plan on, and I know that I'm gonna have like an amazing year. Yeah, I mean, the PCA in a lot of ways is reaching a level where, closing out on the World Series of Poker, and potentially could surpass it in terms of numbers. Over 1,500 players this year. One of the reasons, obviously, is just PokerStars really gets it. They're the world leader, and there's no question about that when it comes to like understanding, how to create tours and live events in localized markets. And they've done that with the advent of the EPT and the APPT, and now coming out with the NAPT. They've got the LAPT, tons of tournaments all over the world. So they've got such an amazing setup for satellite system to get people into these things for very low amounts. You've got so many satellites going on, and this is the absolute best way to ensure really big numbers for your tournament, and that's one of the main reasons why the PCA, and also, of course, the age limit. You can be 18 and play in the Bahamas. Well, the tough part for me, golf-wise, is, when I travel a lot, I don't get as much chance to play, and the weather in Vegas, unless it's really nice, in the winters, is not really suitable for golf, so it's kind of like a little bit of a hiatus. And then usually in April, May is when we really start to kick it up into high gear and play a lot. And I've got one bet. It's like a big bet against Phil Ivey and Eric Lindgren and the people that I think 80 or better from the blue tees, and I have any time between now and the World Series.
Okay. And how did you make the chances in that one?
Well, I was getting close before I had to leave town. I had, I'm terrible, but I shot 83 twice and 84 once. So I was very close to the number that I needed. I felt like I was just a couple days away from doing it, and then I had to leave town, which is tough. So right now, it's not looking all that good. Yeah, you know what? To be honest with you, every goal that I set is one that I feel, is absolutely attainable. The most difficult one of the ones that I set is I'd really like to have a multi-bracelet year and win more than a bracelet in 1 year. Because I feel like I've been pretty unlucky in terms of my numbers. Like, normally, heads up, in my career, I haven't finished second very often. At the World Series, I've come second 4 times. So I've got 4 wins, 4 seconds, and a couple thirds. I mean, that could easily be 6 or 7 bracelets, no question about it. And so that's the big one that I'd like to accomplish that I don't think I have. And all the other ones, I feel are very attainable. And I felt like I outlined 8 goals, and I said to myself, if I can hit 5 of those 8, I'll consider it a successful year.